Learning, if it is learning, is not going to be enough. It is good, but it's not enough. It has to be, the term we say, realized, or it has to stabilize. It has to be alive inside your own heart. It has to be your own proof also. So, what needs to happen, you see? What is to be done then? We have already gone past something that questions and answers, knowledge, certainly at a verbal, mental, intellectual level, is insufficient for a complete recognition. Has to be something internal for you. I trust that the urge inside is sufficient to somehow propel you along the way. And what I have said, and I can summarize it very quickly, is that for everyone, what is our experience? Generally, we'll say whatever it is that comes up in the mind from the past or from some intention in the future, whatever comes through the senses, all these are perceivable phenomena. They are coming, appearing for some time and going. Very often we somehow become engaged with them, and to become engaged with them, we take the flavor of personhood. So you become personal with them. You say, this thing is affecting me, I want to, and so on. And we speak very comfortably with that self-reference as a personal entity. These are my experiences. This is how I try to apply the best I can with what is arising in me through my mind and senses. So this is common for every human being. But what I've shared, and I feel everyone, if you stop for a moment just to reflect on that, is that whatever you perceive or experience through the mind or the senses, including the natural sense of oneself as a particular individual, all these things that we perceive are unstable. They come, they play, they go. Much of it, some of it, we retain in memory, some link in memory. But even the things remembered also are fickle, they are not firm, because even if you had the most accurate memory, your moods contribute to the way things are remembered, and something that was felt to be on one day very important, very, very important, another moment is not interested in it at all. So we are constantly experiencing the variable. Things are coming and going. And what to be made of that? Why am I making some point of that? Is nothing to depend on there in any profound way. Our moods are changing, memory is changing, perception, very, very subjective. All of this is changeful. This we can, I think everyone here can verify through their experience. It is true. So what is to be done then? What is to be done? If all that we perceive through the mind, through the faculty of memory, through the intellect, through the senses, are simply the comings and goings, the daily traffic of thought and emotion, feeling, ideas, projections, dreams, all these things, what is there to rely upon? And even the sense of ourself, ordinarily the one for whom the world is appearing and for who has to live in the world that they perceive in their mind, even this one is not stable. So next point, if all these things are perceived to be unstable, okay, they come and go, and so because of the comings and goings, we create a kind of relationship with them, but they come and go. But what is to be understood by that? Well, first of all, if you can verify that everything comes and goes, you, the one who is verifying everything come and go, relative to the things that's coming and going, you must be stationary. So what is coming and going, not just the memories and thoughts and feelings, but even the sense of yourself as a person also keeps changing. So I'm going to add that into the field of the comings and goings. So something must be, a place must be more stable to observe. These are very changeful states. So what is more important? The changeful state, or trying to control the always changeful state, or to be in the place which is less changeful? And I'm sure you will say, of course, if it was not the possibility that I could observe and verify that everything I see is coming and going, and there's a habit to identify with them, to go into some relationship with these sensations, and that happens almost for everybody it happens. But now you found something. You found a place where you can observe these things, but not observe them with attachment, not to try and control what you see. One of the most, I would say, important advice I could give is to learn to remain in awareness of all the things that come, but also remain aware that you are aware of them, that they are being observed in the space of your being. This is not necessarily a religious perspective. It is simply truthful. So somehow the capacity is there to observe the comings and goings, but that which observes them is not coming and going. Now, what has really not made that as powerful as it's going to be for you is because we keep going back like some reflex to the personal identity, which is much engaged with trying to manipulate what it perceives, and it's not able to manipulate them. It does not have that power. So I say, stay only in the place of the awareness and be aware that you are aware, and not the traffic that's coming up in the form of sensation and memory and desire and projections. All this you can be aware of. Simple exercise. Simple exercise. And I say, though, that in the beginning, for most people, when they try to do it, if not used to it, they will feel a lot of resistance will come up. Why resistance? If what you're searching for is a stability within yourself, a peace, you see. And then even if some turbulence come, turbulence is also perceived in you. Don't have to engage. You may feel it energetically present in the body. You may feel the breath is racing, the pulse is beating, the nervous system is trembling, but that's not qualities of the witness. The witness is totally untouched. The witnessing is totally untouched. And I asked you to join me with this and take a look from the perspective I am offering and introducing to you. And I have so much confidence. I said, even in one session, we can do it. What is the obstacle to true satisfaction, true solution, true stability? What is the obstacle? Habit. The habit. Like some reflex, we find ourselves again trying to control and to identify, and to, in fact, when we do identify with the phenomena of the mind, you are not good company for anybody. Actually, nobody wants your company because you are in a disturbed state. Would you not agree? We're in a disturbed state, and we maybe go to a company to try and distract us from our disturbed state. And maybe for a few moments we can get distraction. You go watch a movie, or you go and to a restaurant. You can be distracted for a bit, but it comes and goes. You see? So therefore I say, persist. The one who is really sincere, it doesn't matter if you fail 100 times. You persist, and by you become much more stable in it. And it doesn't take long, even on the first try. We begin to, if you hold off from jumping into the samsara waters, into the troubling waters, you just remain that you're aware of those as sensations and thoughts, but somehow you're honoring your detachment, your capacity to be detached from it. Look how quickly things change. In a short time, we're experiencing something that many people, maybe most human beings, don't consciously become aware of. That the peace is a peace that arises within you. You didn't go outside to find peace. Just by this simple exercise of not connecting up with the mind flow and the usual habit, but just as in the same way you can remain detached and be aware of like this. That is all. I feel what's the problem? They don't believe me. And I'm not asking for belief. I'm saying, hey, have faith in me. No, have sufficient faith to put it to the test. You see, anybody put it to the test, I know that very, very soon you come into that experiential state of tranquility and peace. It doesn't mean it's the end, though. It's not over. The mind will come again. The momentum of habit and condition will come. But again, each time it comes, it can only appear to you who are already here. You are already the space of consciousness that things appears inside. If there was not ego or personal identity, nothing is wrong with your life. Nothing at all. It is only the false sense of self that begins to take credit for or feel abused by, and that identity creates all this trauma, all this pain. So that's the first thing. So again, I present it as a synopsis, a simple way of putting it again. What do I say? I say, learn to observe your mind, your person, and its world. Not by turning this way, you don't have to fall in like this, but just by sitting inside your own awareness, letting the mind arise, not trying to suppress or to control mind and so on for a moment. Sit with that. Sit with it. Some things will come that feels very, very juicy, and many things will come, they are medium juicy, and some things will come that you hardly notice at all. And be aware of them, but don't panic. Honor your capacity to observe with detachment. Keep at it. And so powerful it is. So more than intimacy, it brings you to the harmony of being in you. And I'm beginning to recommend it. Do it in the morning, even for 5 minutes you sit before you go out into the world. Let it wait for a moment. You can sit for 5 minutes and clarify your presence before you rush out into the world. Then lunchtime a little bit, or your morning coffee. 5 minutes. 5 times a day you can do this. Morning, lunchtime, afternoon, few moments, evening, before going to bed if you want. You don't have to be strict about what I'm saying, what suits you. Start like that, and quickly, you see, it will kick in of its own power, and you'll somehow feel, I want to do this, and then I have to do this, because this is something not just for me. Your environment will be transformed by it. The people you are in connection will somehow be supported by it. It seems like a lot to say, but I'm saying this because I don't say, if this teaching failed, try this other one. I'm not going to give anybody another teaching right now.